Welcome to another edition of the African Transformation Spotlight, brought to you by the African Center for Economic Transformation. We're an African-led, African-driven economic policy institute based in Accra, working across the African continent and connected to the world. My name is Belinda Ayamga. I am Communications Manager here at Asset, and I'm excited today to have with me Noomane Fehri. Noomane is a member of Asset's board and a former Minister of Digital Economy in Tunisia. Noomane, welcome to the African Transformation Spotlight.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. It's good to have you. And today we're talking about digital innovation and economic transformation in Africa. So let me start off with this question that I have for you. How can innovation, or what role can innovation play when it comes to accelerating economic transformation?
Thank you. You can't transform without innovating, otherwise you'll continue to do the same thing. Over the last few decades, we have seen the digital transformation revolutionizing all business model in every single sector. So digital transformations is the cornerstone or the main engine for any economic transformation. And I think that we need to be more aware about the importance of people getting of services getting digitized by government. That government needs to consider its citizens as customers and to deliver them the best services with the less possible hassles, and that can only be by digital services, but also within the private sector. We are past beyond. I would say we are past beyond the digital transformation. We are in the AI world. So both governments and private sector needs to catch up in order to stay competitive. Otherwise, they will disappear.
Yeah. So in recent years, African countries have been doing a lot of work trying to work together, on topics like digital economy, digital trade, right? So how do you see the progress that has been made in these areas, and what more do we need to do to really move this agenda forward?
Can I be direct?
You can.
The government working together, other than few cases, it was playing a lip service. We have seen a lot of projects. Digital Africa, Smart Africa, Digital Collective Africa, etc. Well, every stakeholder is trying to do, every set of stakeholder is trying to do his own. For example, government are trying to work together. Private sector is trying to work together. Civil society is trying to work together. What we really need that these three main sectors, government, public sector, private sector, and civil society, to work together within the countries, but also across countries. The strict answer is not enough, not fast enough. I don't think that governments are alert enough. I'm generalizing, but obviously there are few governments who are more aware than others about the importance and the urgency to react. Yeah. There is a risk, and measuring my word, that governments will be irrelevant in few years. With AI, with connected individual all across Africa, if government doesn't do what the youth needs to do, the youth will do something else with other people. Therefore, they will make literally the government irrelevant. What will happen that the government will try to reclaim that space, and then we enter into a very negative loop. So my message is to government: if you don't react, not you as political party, not you as individual, but the institution government may become irrelevant in few decades. Right. So we need to react very, very, very quickly, and we need to realize that this is not, we don't have time anymore. This is not a joke.
That's true. But how do we move the needle? I mean, what is it that is preventing all these different stakeholders from working together on the things that matter? Is there something in particular that we should be looking at?
Yes, I think, in most countries, we have youth from the 21st century managed by governors and politicians from the 20th century, and with laws from the 19th century, laws and traditions from the 19th century. So that also the youth has worldwide expectations. They have internet. There is no reason in the world but a person in Accra will have less sun than a person in New York. Therefore, they have worldwide expectation. But government have local delivery mean.
Yeah.
So we have a huge double whammy. We have the generational gap, 21st century and 19th century, and the other gap is worldwide expectation versus local delivery means. So we need to to go to e-government immediately to scrap the paper, because when the government services are digitalized, that means less corruption and more efficiency. We need to make sure that education is the digital education. There is, if we are getting in the continent, we're getting practically 50 million children more every year. You cannot continue to build schools, etc. every year to cater for those. So we have somehow to move to digital education. 3, we need every single person needs to be connected. When you are connected, it's your passport to the future. It's you enter what used to be the virtual world, which is becoming now the real world. Your connection is also your passport. You can travel to go wherever to fetch the information, and you do work from Accra while your customer in another country. And most importantly, we need to create digital economy law, which allow the new ecosystem to thrive. For example, you cannot have the same law, procurement law, for to build a bridge, the same one as to buy a piece of software or an AI service. You can. So these 4 pillars. When you do these 4 pillars, digital education, government, paperless government, new laws and connectivity for everybody. Then you build these 4 pillars. You have the kids who are younger than me will climb this pillar and build a new platform, Africa 2.0. This platform, it will go beyond my thinking. Obviously not beyond your thinking due to your age, but they will build a new economy, new things that we can't even dream about it. So we need to make sure that these 4 pillars are having priorities. Government, it's easy for them to decide on a toll road for 100 kilometers, while within the same cost, they can digitize the whole countries. So we need that mind switch, and that only can be by pressure groups from the youth.
And I think you've actually answered part of what I was going to ask you next, which was what's your advice for African leaders when it comes to building this strong and lasting startup ecosystem at the country levels, but also on the regional level?
Yes, obviously having a strategy with 4 pillars and let the youth build it, because the tsunami transformation is coming. So most of the jobs that we know will disappear. There will be new jobs. So when these youth will be on Africa 2.0, they will save whatever is to be saved, and they will create the new Africa 2.0. But also in our world, older is wiser, is more experienced. In the new world, no. Sometimes experience is not, how can I say it? The experience is a bullet. That it's a new concept, new ways of doing things. Therefore, let the youth drive, follow the youth, not the other way around.
How do you see African youth, when it comes to innovation, bringing up new ideas? Do you see African youth doing a lot of these? And what would also be your advice to them when it comes to surmounting some of the bottlenecks that exist?
Look, there are two African youths, the educated one and the non-educated one. The role of the government to educate the non-educated, that's number one. But we have a good part of our African youth is very well educated. They are entering the new world. They are creating startups. They are creating new technologies, etc. Look at the investment in the startup in Africa. Less than 5 years ago, it was a few tens of millions. Last year, it was $6 billion in investment in startups. These startups are clearly today seen by government as a little thing happening on the side. Yeah. No, these are the things that matter. That little thing will transform the other economy. Yeah. Because what we are seeing today is three economies. The governed economy, you need a license to do whatever you want to do, which is usually linked with government authorization and friendship, and then you can go into corruption and all that space. And usually the central banks play a big role on not letting go. There is the informal economy, which is an economy which is make people, thanks to the informal economy that people are can live. If we don't have the informal economy, government will have real serious problems for people coming and asking them for food. But there is the third economy, which is the innovation economy in Africa, which is still small, but if you look at the curve, it's exponential. I am convinced that the next 10 years of Africa has nothing to do with the last 10 years. In 10 years, you will see a different Africa if we continue to let the youth and the educated youth drive drive the economy. All what we have to do is to let them work. So we need a law which says, dear government, leave the startups alone, let them do what they want, and when they will make money, go and ask them for taxes and stuff. But for the moment, let them go.
So on this very optimistic note, I think we will end our conversation here. We've been speaking to Noomane Fehri. Noomane is a member of the board here at Asset and a former minister of digital economy in Tunisia. Noomane, thank you so much for coming, and we've had a great discussion. I'm sure we'll have to have you come back so that we can delve more into this conversation.
Thank you.
But please, if you want more information on Asset, you can find it at www.assetforafrica.org. And until we come your way again, do take care. Thank you.